what do I do when I get back? Because we are already feeling right now like, I want to get back to work, and if you've ever been out of work for any sort of time, the first day or two, it's a little scary. Then you're like, maybe I'm enjoying a little time off, but you hit that point where you're like, I need to get back to work. I need to feel like I'm creating and I'm getting rid of this creative energy I have, or I just simply need to make money right now. What I want to caution everyone on is our first inclination after being out of work for a while is to work every single hour of every single day. You know what? There's 24 hours a day. I'm going to create a 25th hour and I'm just going to work it. Why I want to caution against this is that in the short term, yes, you will make money and you will make more money than you probably ever have. But in the long term, you will burn yourself out. And what that looks like is that one, you may start to make mistakes. Right, that 6N suddenly becomes a 6BC and you didn't realize it, and things get a little scary in your color. You might have clients that start to notice that you're becoming burnout and they don't come back. But the bigger part of it is that you start to resent what you do. When you put so much time and effort into working so many hours in such a short amount of time, all the fun and the creative power that you have starts to go away. You need to recharge your batteries. You need to give yourself some space to say, you know what, I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to give myself a little breathing room so that when I come back to work, I'm going to do the best that I can. And I'm going to take a little break and then I come back and I do the best. This is a time for you to reevaluate yourself and say, how am I going to schedule myself? Another great thing to do is look at your scheduling. Maybe this is where you start a little bit earlier in the day, then you take a break in the middle of the day. Maybe that's your dead time, and you take that time to run some errands or eat lunch, maybe once in your life, right? And then you come back to work at night, right? And then you're able to do the best work that you possibly can do because you had that break during the day, but you're still making up those hours by working in the morning and working a split shift at night. Other things you can do is just look at how you do your services, right? There's an amazing opportunity to incorporate express services within your book. What that looks like is quick 15-minute to 30-minute services that you weren't necessarily offering before. Maybe that is just doing like quick, easy face frame balayage. It's an extra 15 minutes to do, and you're tacking that on to your color retouches. So you've just taken a color retouch, say that's $60 American, right? Now you're adding face frame balayage, maybe that's another $35 to $40 American, right? You've just increased your profit on that by only adding an extra 15 minutes and such a small amount of product. And when you do that, think about your product use, right? You don't want to have to mix up 2 ounces of color if you're only just doing a face frame balayage, right? You don't want to have to do as much because you need to look at how you're evaluating even your inventory when you come back. Another great idea is your clients that are naturally doing refreshes, right? You do your zone 1 color and then you do your refresh. Let's talk about spicing that up a little bit, making it just slightly different, because why that's important is, 1, you're separating yourself from the other salon that's just using the same color throughout. 2, you can use a refresh using 2 different colors that are very close, right? Say one is a 6N is your typical refresh. Add some 6GI as a second refresh, right? Overlap sections. So one section you're doing 6N, one section you're doing 6GI. That minimal little bit of a color change gives that refresh just that little bit of dimension, but you're also mixing up a second color. When you're mixing up a second color, that means you're also charging for additional color mix. Again, think about what we had spoken about in the beginning of this series, which was about really taking advantage of additional services to either pad your books, right, to give yourself that savings, or when you come back to be able to earn that money back that you've been missing over that time. So you can even do this with haircuts, right? Say a client is coming back and they don't have the time, or maybe not the money because they've been out of work too, to be able to adjust back in this. You can offer something that's just maybe a perimeter haircut, right? Like we've always done bang trims where you do that quick 15-minute service, cutting bangs. We charge like maybe $10 to $15 for that. Why not do that for the perimeter? That client that's coming in, it's like, I just need that bottom end clean. Come on in, we got you. That's a quick 10 to 15 minute, you clean up their perimeter, and now they're able to feel good about themselves going back into the workforce. And you were able to supply yourself with a little bit of money and a little bit of that time on your books to be able to create something for someone, and now you're making money. All of these are great ideas. I like to think so anyway. But here's the big thing with all of them. they all again take discipline, meaning that any of these ideas, anything that you're reading right now, it takes discipline to initiate what you want to do. So what I ask you guys is, during whatever time you're at in your career, you want to start to think about how you're going to integrate this, but then how you're going to keep yourself in check to making sure that you're doing that. Whether it's looking at your book at the end of the week to see how much money you made, or just taking a gut check to say, how do I feel right now? Do I feel burnout? Do I feel like I need a day off to be able to recollect myself, right? Because when you're at your best, that's when you create the best work. I want to thank you guys for watching, and again, we're here to support you throughout whatever time you're at in your career, and I applaud you all for watching this and bettering yourselves. So my name is Woehrel, and thank you.